Forgiveness is harder than people admit. A lot of people say, just forgive and move on like it is some small thing, but they never talk about the sleepless nights, the overthinking, the betrayal, the disrespect, the lies, or the feeling of being deeply hurt by someone you trusted. Some of you watching this video are smiling around people every day while secretly carrying pain you never healed from. Some of you still replay conversations in your head from years ago. Some of you still remember exactly how someone made you feel. You remember the tone in their voice. You remember the message they sent. You remember how they switched up on you. You remember how abandoned you felt. And the truth is, forgiveness becomes difficult when the pain felt personal. It becomes difficult when you gave somebody real love and they gave you trauma in return. It becomes difficult when you supported people who disappeared when you needed help. Some people watching this video trusted someone completely, and now they struggle to trust anybody at all. That pain changes people. It makes people colder. It makes people defensive. It makes people stop opening up emotionally. And maybe nobody around you notices it, but deep down, you know you changed after what happened to you. The dangerous thing about unforgiveness is that it slowly starts controlling your emotions without you realizing it. You become angry faster. You become emotionally tired. You become bitter without wanting to admit it. And eventually, the person who hurt you moves on while you are still carrying the weight of what they did. That is why this conversation matters. Because forgiveness is not pretending the pain never happened. Forgiveness is choosing not to let the pain destroy your heart completely. A lot of people think forgiveness means saying what happened was okay, but that is not true at all. Some things that happened to you were genuinely wrong. Some people really did betray you. Some people really did manipulate you. Some people really did take advantage of your kindness. God is not asking you to lie about your pain. God is not asking you to call evil good. Forgiveness is not denial. Forgiveness is releasing the burden before it destroys you emotionally and spiritually. Some people hold on to anger because they think it gives them power, but in reality, it keeps them emotionally connected to the very thing that hurt them. You can hate somebody for years and still be mentally trapped by them. You can replay the pain every day and not even realize they still control your emotions. That is why healing matters. Some of you are exhausted because you are carrying anger everywhere you go. You carry it into new relationships. You carry it into your friendships. You carry it into your future. And sometimes people who never hurt you end up paying for wounds they never caused. Hurt people often hurt people. That cycle keeps repeating until somebody decides to heal properly. And honestly, healing starts when you stop pretending you are okay. Some of you watching this video are not angry anymore, but you are still wounded. There is a difference. Some people are quiet but not healed. Some people moved on physically, but emotionally they are still stuck in the moment they got hurt. Real healing begins when you finally admit, what happened to me affected me deeply. That honesty matters. God cannot heal the version of you that keeps pretending nothing hurts. One of the hardest things about forgiveness is forgiving people who never apologized. That is where many people struggle the most. Because deep down, you keep hoping they will finally understand what they did to you. You keep hoping they will text you one day. You keep hoping they will admit they were wrong. But sometimes closure never comes from people. Sometimes closure comes from God helping you accept reality. Some people will never apologize because pride controls them. Some people do not even fully understand the damage they caused. And if you wait for every person to finally validate your pain before you heal, you may stay emotionally stuck for years. That is painful, but it is true. Forgiveness is difficult because your mind keeps saying, "Why should I let this go when they hurt me so badly?" And honestly, that feeling is understandable. But carrying hatred long-term slowly poisons your peace. You start becoming emotionally drained all the time. Small things begin triggering you. Trust becomes harder. Joy becomes harder. Peace becomes harder. Some people watching this video have not felt emotionally peaceful in a very long time. You are surviving but not resting emotionally. And sometimes your body looks calm while your mind feels heavy every single day. God never wanted your heart to live under constant bitterness. That bitterness slowly steals your joy, your peace, your sleep, and your emotional energy. You deserve freedom too. not just the people who hurt you. You deserve healing. You deserve peace in your mind again. Forgiveness also does not mean reconnecting with everybody who hurt you. This is important because many people confuse forgiveness with access. You can forgive someone and still set boundaries. You can forgive someone and still protect your peace. Some people become dangerous to your emotional health when they keep repeating the same toxic behavior. God does not ask you to keep volunteering for disrespect. Some relationships are unhealthy. Some friendships are draining. Some people only return when they need something from you. Some people apologize emotionally but never change behaviorally. And eventually, you must stop confusing temporary words with real change. Forgiveness does not mean becoming foolish. It means letting go of hatred while still using wisdom. Some viewers need to hear this clearly. Protecting your peace is not selfish. Constant disrespect changes people emotionally. Constant manipulation changes people emotionally. Constant disappointment changes people emotionally. And some of you became mentally exhausted because you kept giving chances to people who never valued your heart. Sometimes the most mature thing you can do is walk away peacefully instead of fighting constantly. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every argument deserves your attention. Some people love chaos more than healing. And if you are always surrounded by drama, confusion, lies, and emotional games, eventually your spirit becomes tired too. God wants peace for your life, not endless emotional warfare every day. Some of you are tired because you stayed in environments that constantly wounded your heart. Another reason forgiveness feels hard is because pain changes how you see yourself. Some people were rejected so many times that they now question their worth. Some people got cheated on and now feel unlovable. Some people got abandoned and now fear attachment completely. Pain does not only damage trust in others. Sometimes it damages trust in yourself. Some viewers became insecure because of how somebody treated them. You started wondering if you were the problem. You started overthinking everything about yourself. You became harder on yourself after people hurt you. And honestly, many people watching this video are carrying silent insecurities created by painful experiences. But hear this carefully. Somebody hurting you does not reduce your value. Somebody leaving you does not make you worthless. Somebody betraying you does not erase your purpose. And sometimes God removes people because He saw what you refused to see. Some relationships were slowly destroying your peace while you were trying desperately to save them. Sometimes you prayed for people who were secretly damaging your emotional health. That is why healing matters deeply. Because unhealed pain changes your personality slowly. You become colder, more distant, more fearful, more defensive. And eventually you stop recognizing yourself emotionally. God does not want pain to completely harden your heart. He wants healing to restore the parts of you that suffering tried to destroy. One thing people rarely talk about is forgiving yourself. Some of you are not angry at other people anymore. You are angry at yourself. You blame yourself for staying too long. You blame yourself for trusting too easily. You blame yourself for ignoring red flags. You blame yourself for mistakes you made years ago. Some of you secretly replay your failures every single day. And even though God forgave you, you still punish yourself mentally. That is exhausting. Living under constant self-hatred slowly destroys your confidence and peace. Yes, accountability matters. Yes, growth matters. Yes, learning from mistakes matters. But destroying yourself emotionally forever will not change the past. Some viewers keep calling themselves stupid because of what happened. Some people still feel ashamed of choices they made years ago. But healing begins when you stop defining yourself only by your worst moments. God knew every mistake you would make before you even made it, and He still chose to love you. That truth matters deeply. Some people think they need to become perfect before God accepts them, but that is not how grace works. Grace meets people in broken places. Grace reaches people during failure. Grace reaches people during weakness. And honestly, some of you need to stop speaking to yourself like you are worthless. You are still growing. You are still healing. You are still learning. And God is not finished with your life yet. And another thing people rarely admit is that sometimes the pain stays because the memory keeps getting triggered by everyday life. You hear a certain song, and suddenly you remember everything again. You pass a certain place, and your mood changes instantly. You see their name somewhere and your heart feels heavy again. Healing is strange like that sometimes. One small reminder can reopen emotions you thought were already gone. And honestly, some of you get frustrated with yourself because you thought you were over it already. But emotional healing is not always linear. Sometimes you make progress quietly without even noticing it. Sometimes you are stronger than you were 6 months ago, but because you are still hurting a little, you ignore the growth that already happened inside you. Some of you survived situations that almost destroyed your mental health completely. Some of you cried alone so many nights while nobody checked on you. Some of you carried emotional pain while still going to work, still going to school, still smiling around people, still acting normal every day. People saw your face, but they never saw the war happening inside your mind. That is why you should stop minimizing your pain. What hurt you deeply matters. Some people act like emotional pain is weakness, but heartbreak can exhaust somebody mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually all at once. And many people become tired because they never gave themselves permission to heal honestly. They rushed themselves emotionally. They pressured themselves emotionally. They expected themselves to recover immediately. But real healing usually takes longer than people admit online. Some wounds heal quietly over time through patience, prayer, honesty, reflection, boundaries, and emotional growth. And honestly, some of you are closer to healing than you realize. The fact that you are even trying to forgive already says a lot about your heart. Some people stay bitter forever. Some people become cruel after pain. Some people lose all softness after betrayal. But the fact that you still desire peace means your heart is still alive underneath the pain. A lot of people also struggle with forgiveness because they secretly wanted justice more than healing. And if we are being real, that feeling is understandable. When somebody hurts you deeply, a part of you wants them to feel exactly what they made you feel. You want them to understand the damage they caused. You want them to experience the same heartbreak, confusion, disappointment, or loneliness. And honestly, many people watching this video have imagined conversations in their head where they finally confront the person who hurt them. You replay scenarios where they finally admit they were wrong. You replay moments where they finally regret losing you. That is human emotion. But eventually, you realize revenge does not heal the wound inside you. Even if somebody finally suffers, it still does not automatically repair your peace. Some people spend years waiting for karma while their own emotional health keeps getting worse. And that is dangerous, because your future should not stay emotionally connected to somebody else's downfall. Your healing matters too. Your peace matters too. Your future matters too. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is stop monitoring people who hurt you. Stop checking their social media. Stop watching their life from a distance. Stop reopening emotional wounds every day. Some of you cannot heal because you keep feeding the memory constantly. Every time you revisit the pain, your emotions restart all over again. And honestly, some people watching this video know exactly what I mean. You say you want peace, but part of you still keeps touching the wound emotionally. Healing requires distance sometimes. Healing requires silence sometimes. Healing requires letting go slowly even when your emotions still feel attached. And yes, that process hurts. But carrying the pain forever hurts even more. Some viewers also need to hear this clearly. Forgiveness does not erase consequences. People love confusing grace with permission. Just because you forgive somebody does not mean they automatically regain access to your life. Trust is different from forgiveness. Trust is built through consistency, honesty, accountability, and changed behavior over time. Some people say sorry emotionally but continue hurting you repeatedly. And eventually, you have to stop ignoring patterns. Some of you kept excusing toxic behavior because you loved the person deeply. Some of you stayed loyal to people who continuously disrespected your heart. And honestly, love without boundaries can slowly destroy your emotional health. Some people only appreciate your value after losing access to you. Some people only realize your importance after they no longer benefit from your kindness. but you cannot keep abandoning yourself emotionally just to keep everybody else comfortable. Some viewers became emotionally drained because they spent years trying to save relationships that only God could fix. You kept trying harder. You kept forgiving repeatedly. You kept hoping things would change. But eventually, you realized effort from one side cannot carry an entire relationship forever. That realization hurts deeply because some of you truly loved people with genuine intentions. And when love is real, disappointment cuts deeper. Some viewers know exactly what it feels like to pour into people emotionally while secretly feeling empty themselves. You encouraged everybody else while nobody encouraged you. You checked on everybody else while nobody checked on you. You kept being strong for everybody else while privately falling apart emotionally. And honestly, some of you became exhausted because you kept carrying emotional responsibilities that were never meant to belong only to you. God never asked you to destroy your peace trying to rescue people who refuse to change. Another difficult part about forgiveness is forgiving family members. That pain hits differently because family wounds usually cut deeper than people admit publicly. Some viewers grew up hearing painful words constantly. Some of you grew up feeling emotionally unseen inside your own home. Some of you never felt understood by the people closest to you. And honestly, childhood pain follows many people into adulthood quietly. Some adults are still carrying insecurities created by things said to them years ago. Some people still struggle with confidence because of how they were treated growing up. Some people learn to hide emotions because vulnerability was never safe for them emotionally. And when pain comes from family, forgiveness becomes complicated because you cannot simply erase the memories. Some people were disappointed by parents. Some people were abandoned emotionally. Some people constantly felt rejected, criticized, ignored, or compared. And maybe you never fully talked about it because everyone expects you to just move on. But deep wounds do not disappear simply because time passed. Some pain stays hidden underneath daily life for years. Some people become high achievers because they secretly crave validation they never received emotionally. Some people struggle with relationships because trust was damaged early in life. And honestly, some viewers have spent years pretending family pain does not affect them anymore while secretly carrying emotional heaviness every day. But God sees those wounds too. God sees the pain nobody talks about publicly. He sees the quiet disappointments. He sees the tears people cried privately. He sees the emotional exhaustion people carry silently. And healing those wounds takes honesty. It takes courage. It takes patience. And sometimes it takes finally admitting that certain experiences changed you deeply. Some people also struggle to forgive because they confuse healing with weakness. They think staying angry protects them emotionally. They think softness makes them vulnerable again. And honestly, after enough betrayal, many people become emotionally guarded without even realizing it. You stop opening up fully. You stop trusting people easily. You stop expecting too much from anyone because disappointment exhausted you already. Some viewers know exactly what it feels like to become emotionally numb after getting hurt repeatedly. You laugh less genuinely. You trust less naturally. You love less freely. And eventually survival mode becomes your normal emotional state. But God did not create you to live emotionally closed forever. Pain may explain why your heart became guarded, but healing is what slowly teaches your heart safety again. And honestly, some of you are not rude people naturally. You are just tired emotionally. Tired of disappointment. Tired of fake loyalty. Tired of empty promises. Tired of carrying emotional pain while pretending everything is okay. Some viewers are emotionally exhausted from constantly acting strong. But strength is not pretending you never hurt. Real strength is facing your pain honestly instead of burying it deeper every year. Some of you avoided healing because you thought ignoring emotions would make them disappear. But hidden pain usually leaks out eventually through anger, insecurity, fear, anxiety, overthinking, or emotional distance. Unhealed wounds always find ways to speak eventually. That is why forgiveness matters deeply. Not because the pain was small, but because your future matters too much to stay emotionally trapped forever. And honestly, one of the saddest things about unforgiveness is how quietly it changes your personality over time. Some people used to be joyful before pain changed them. Some people used to trust easily before betrayal hardened them. Some people used to feel emotionally safe before heartbreak made them constantly overthink everything. And maybe people around you think you changed for no reason, but they never saw what happened to your heart privately. Pain changes people slowly. Sometimes so slowly that even you do not notice it at first. You just become more distant, more defensive, more emotionally tired, more suspicious, more afraid to attach emotionally. And eventually you stop recognizing the version of yourself you became after the pain. That is why healing is not just emotional. It is spiritual too. Because bitterness slowly affects your peace, your mindset, your relationships, your reactions, your sleep, your confidence, and even your ability to enjoy life fully again. Some viewers have not felt emotionally light in a very long time. You survive daily life, but deep down your mind feels heavy constantly. And honestly, carrying emotional pain too long can make life feel exhausting even when nothing dramatic is happening currently. Some people are tired because their soul never truly rested emotionally. Some viewers are still carrying conversations, betrayals, disappointments, and heartbreak from years ago. And the scary thing is that sometimes pain becomes so familiar that you stop realizing how deeply it still affects your daily emotions. But God wants more for your life than permanent emotional survival mode. He wants peace for your heart again. He wants joy for your life again. He wants healing for the parts of you that secretly still hurt. Some of you also need to forgive yourself for becoming someone you never thought you would become during your painful season. Pain can push people into dark emotional places. Some viewers became cold because they were tired of getting hurt. Some people pushed others away because vulnerability started feeling dangerous. Some people became angry, emotionally unavailable, impatient, insecure, jealous, or numb after experiencing deep heartbreak or disappointment. And honestly, some of you feel guilty for how pain changed your behavior. Maybe you stopped trusting God for a while. Maybe you isolated yourself emotionally. Maybe you handled situations badly because you were overwhelmed mentally. Maybe you said things out of pain you later regretted. But healing also requires compassion toward yourself. You are not the only person who struggled emotionally after being wounded deeply. You are human, and humans react imperfectly when they are hurting badly. That does not excuse wrong behavior, but it does explain why grace matters. Some viewers keep replaying their worst moments mentally every single day. You punish yourself repeatedly for mistakes God already forgave. You keep calling yourself weak because you struggled emotionally. But healing becomes impossible when self-hatred becomes your inner voice constantly. Some of you need to stop speaking to yourself like an enemy. Growth takes time. Maturity takes time. Healing takes time. God is patient with people during their process, and maybe it is time you become more patient with yourself too. You are still learning emotionally. You are still rebuilding emotionally. And honestly, surviving painful seasons already required strength you probably do not even fully recognize yet. At the end of the day, forgiveness is really about freedom. Freedom from replaying painful memories every night. Freedom from carrying bitterness everywhere you go. Freedom from allowing old wounds to control your current emotions. Freedom from becoming permanently hardened because of what somebody else did to you. And honestly, freedom usually begins quietly. Sometimes healing starts with one honest prayer. Sometimes it starts with one difficult conversation. Sometimes it starts with finally admitting you are not okay emotionally. Some viewers spent years pretending they moved on while secretly still hurting inside. But hidden pain cannot heal properly in darkness forever. Healing requires honesty. Healing requires surrender. Healing requires patience. And yes, healing sometimes requires crying through emotions you tried to suppress for years. But your future is worth fighting for emotionally. Your peace is worth protecting emotionally. Your heart deserves rest too. Some people watching this video have spent so much time carrying everybody else emotionally that they forgot they need healing too. And maybe this video is your reminder that God still cares deeply about your broken places. He still cares about your tears. He still cares about your exhaustion. He still cares about the wounds nobody else understands fully. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned, and your pain is not permanent. One day, the thing that almost broke you emotionally may become the reason somebody else survives their darkest season. And that is the beautiful thing about healing. God can take the deepest pain in your life and slowly turn it into wisdom, compassion, strength, and peace. The truth is, forgiveness is usually a process, not a one-time feeling. Some mornings you feel healed, and then one memory suddenly brings the pain back again. That does not mean you failed. Healing takes time. Emotional wounds do not disappear overnight. Some pain cuts deeply because the love was real, and people need to stop acting like emotional recovery is easy. Sometimes healing happens slowly in private moments. It happens during prayer. It happens during reflection. It happens during difficult conversations. It happens while crying alone at night. Some people watching this video are emotionally exhausted because they have been carrying hidden pain for years without talking about it properly. And honestly, pretending to be strong all the time can become emotionally draining too. God never told you to suppress every emotion. Even strong people cry. Even faithful people struggle emotionally sometimes. Even mature people get hurt deeply. You are human. And healing becomes easier when you stop shaming yourself for having emotions. God understands your pain completely. He sees every hidden tear, every disappointment, every betrayal, every lonely night, every silent battle inside your mind. Nothing about your pain is invisible to him. That is why you do not have to heal alone. Some people around you may not fully understand your struggle, but God does. And sometimes his healing works slowly, because he is rebuilding your heart carefully instead of temporarily. So if you are struggling to forgive today, start small. Be honest with God about how you really feel. Stop pretending the pain did not affect you. Stop acting emotionally numb all the time. Tell God exactly what hurt you. Tell him what disappointed you. Tell him what broke your trust. Healing begins with honesty. Some viewers need to release years of emotional weight they never talked about properly. And remember this clearly, forgiveness is not about letting people win. Forgiveness is about refusing to let hatred control your future. You deserve peace too. You deserve emotional freedom too. You deserve to sleep without replaying painful memories every night. God wants your heart free from bitterness because bitterness slowly destroys people from the inside. Some people look alive physically, while emotionally they feel exhausted every single day. Do not let pain become your permanent identity. What happened to you matters, but it does not get to define your entire future. God can still heal your heart. God can still restore your peace. God can still rebuild your trust slowly over time. And one day, the pain that almost destroyed you may become the very testimony that helps somebody else survive their darkest season too. If this video spoke to your heart even a little, I truly want you to remember that you are not alone in what you are feeling. So many people are silently fighting emotional battles every single day while pretending they are okay on the outside. And maybe today was the first time in a long time that you actually felt understood. Healing takes time, forgiveness takes time, and becoming emotionally whole again takes time. But do not give up on yourself in the process. God is still working on you even during the days when you feel emotionally tired, confused, or discouraged. And if nobody told you this recently, I am proud of you for still trying, still praying, still holding on, and still choosing healing instead of hatred. That takes strength, real strength. If this message connected with you, make sure you subscribe to Anything Godly, because this channel is for real people dealing with real struggles, real emotions, real heartbreak, real anxiety, and real faith battles every single day. We are building a community here where people can heal, grow closer to God, and feel understood without pretending to be perfect. So subscribe, stay connected, and come back for more videos, because there is so much more we are going to talk about together. And before you leave, I want you to comment this down below. I choose healing. Sometimes one small decision can become the beginning of a completely different life.